Part 5. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 41. Ding. Zhao Wanqing's faith in you has increased by 2 points. Currently, her faith has reached full value. She will be loyal to you until death. Ding. Zhao Yanyan's faith value in you has increased by 5 points, and the current faith value is 96. Ding. Zhao Yanyan's faith in you has increased by 4 points. Currently, her faith has reached full value. She will be loyal to you until death. Ding. Li Saikia Euro trademark S faith in you add 1. Ding. Li Saikia Euro trademark S faith in you add 1. Ding. Li Saiki has a faith value of add 6 for you. The current faith value has reached full value. He will be loyal to you until death. The series of notification sounds confused everyone in Lin, especially Li Saiki. What was this kid thinking? Just like the pop beans, a series of add ones, and then he went straight to the sky. Is it? Lord, you are actually God, right? Came down to earth specifically to save us. Li Saiki blinked her big eyes, her tender little face full of expectation. Not only Li Saiki, but also Zhao Yanyan next to her seemed convinced of this, and Zhao Wanqing was still in shock and had not recovered. Lin Fan couldn't stand the enthusiasm of the cute little girl for a while. This guy almost got into his arms and even leaned forward. His look was like that of a pervert who just came out of prison and saw a beautiful woman. That cry and excitement is called a fanaticism. I'm not a god now, but it shouldn't be a big problem in the future. As for coming down to earth to save you, this is nonsense. Don't you have an idea of a euro what happened last night? I am not a good person. The labels of bad person, evil person, and rotten person are more suitable for me. Lin Fan's face was calm and his tone was calm and unhurried. He didn't care about his true nature. How could he deceive the little girl into establishing a great and upright label? Sorry, he doesn't need it. As he said, he is a bad person and a wicked person. Relying on his strong strength to act recklessly. This is him. What's wrong? Are you disappointed? Looking at the dazed little girl, Lin Fan sneered and asked. The little head shook like a rattle, and Li Saiki smiled stupidly. My lord, it's so cool. I like it so much. My lord, how about we go back upstairs? I'll give it to you, you take a shower. Lin Fan. Do you want to take a shower? You are despicable. You lust after my body. Don't a euro trademark T wash it? I think you have forgotten the fear of being dominated last night. Go and do whatever you need to do. I don't a euro trademark T have time to talk to you. Remember to supervise those women. I a euro trademark LL go get some vegetable seeds and come back. I a euro trademark LL keep eating canned meat and luncheon meat. I almost don't a euro trademark T know what the food tastes like. Jumping up, lightning flashed everywhere. Lin Fan turned into lightning and left the hospital. He planned to bring some vegetables, fruits, and other seeds when he came out, and also went to the police station for a walk since Zhao Wanqing and the others had firearms. If you are proficient, then weapons and other things are very necessary. Shortly after Lin Fan left, a moving silhouette flew over at an extremely fast speed, carrying several large bags in his hand. He was carrying vegetables in his left hand and vegetables in his right hand. Carrying a bag of cold meat, Lin Yuyu stopped and looked at Zhao Wanqing and the other three who were looking at the sky in a daze. She frowned slightly, especially when she saw the pistol in the hands of the three women. Her frown deepened. What are you three standing here looking at? Did the Lord just come back? Coming back to her senses, Zhao Wanqing looked at Lin Yuyu, who didn't know when she would come back, nodded and said the Lord just came back, but left again. These guns were given to us by the Lord, and asked us to supervise the women who were brought back. As she said that, Zhao Wanqing saw several big bags in Lin Yuyu's hands, and her eyes lit up. Are there really vegetables and meat in the canteen? Great, when the master comes back, we can cook some vegetables for him. The faith value directly reached the full value. Zhao Wangqing's heart was full of Lin Fan. Seeing these things that Lin Fan had been thinking about, she was naturally overjoyed. Hearing this, Lin Yuyo's frown relaxed and she looked down at her hands. Vegetables and meat, with a slight smile on his face, yes, fortunately these are kept in the freezer, otherwise they would all be broken. The canteen is not in the hospital area and is closed by an electronic door. No wonder the Lord didn't notice. You said that the Lord has brought back a group of women. Who are they? They were all not very good women, with average figures and looks, and the few beautiful ones were just like that. The Lord meant that these were all brought back to work, Zhao Wangqing explained. Is that so? I'll go up and put these down first, and we'll go over there later to see those women. Lin Yuyo walked into the supermarket carrying the bag and walked out after a while. Let's go. On the other side, Lin Fan didn't know that the vegetables and meat he wanted so much had been brought back by Lin Yuyo. At this moment, he was muttering, vegetables, fruits and seeds, where can I buy these things? He has never bought these things before. He even doubted, is there anyone selling this thing in the Magic City? Just when Lin Fan was standing on a roof thinking about life, a childish voice came from under his feet. Brother, are you going to jump off the building? Why are you on the roof of my house? Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 42. Chapter 042, The Ignorant and Innocent Lolita, the cute and ignorant little Lolita. What? There is someone here? Suddenly hearing the sound coming from downstairs, Lin Fan was stunned. It had been a month since the end of the world, and a random fall on a roof found a survivor in the house. Was this because he was lucky, or was there actually no zombies? So powerful. And this voice should be that of a child, right? Looking down, a cute little loli in Lolita is looking up with her head raised. Her fair and tender face is a little baby fat, her tender and chubby face is very cute, and her big eyes are sparkling. Look. Looking at these eyes, Lin Fan seemed to see a clear spring. Lin Fan jumped down from the roof and landed in front of this little Lolita. Not sure if it was an illusion, but Lin Fan felt that the little Lolita seemed to be panicked. But Lin Fan soon realized that he had jumped directly from the third floor. Who in the right mind would jump from the third floor? Is it normal for a little Loli to be scared? Standing in front of the little Lolita, Lin Fan became more and more attracted to her. She was at most 1.5 meters tall, short, dressed like a cute Lolita, with bright eyes and white teeth, as delicate as a doll. Little sister, what is your name? Just you? Where are your adults? After sensing for a while, there was no scent of anyone in the entire villa except for the little Lolita in front of him. Lin Fan was a little surprised. Could it be that the end of the world has been going on for so long and this little Lolita is the only one left in this house? Or are the adults in the family going out to look for food? Zombies are relatively lazy during the day and are different from the violent ones at night. It would be much safer for ordinary people to go out to look for food during the day. Brother, my name is Suzialuo. I am the only one at home. My father said that my mother has gone to a faraway place. He is going to find her. Let me be alone at home. Be good and don't a Euro trademark T run around. There are bad people outside. Luoluo was very scared. The uncles and aunts outside were covered in blood, and they were yelling at Luoluo fiercely, and wanted to rush in. Luoluo was scared, and now he didn't a Euro trademark T dare to go to the door. Dad had been out for a month and still not coming back. Luoluo misses her father and mother so much. Little Lolita said with a very depressed expression. Lin Fan couldn't help but feel a little pity after hearing this. Through Suzialuo's description, Lin Fan could probably make up some pictures in his mind. Little Lolita's mother turned into a zombie, and then the father killed it and took it away. Even the father was bitten. In order not to hurt his daughter, he had no choice but to leave the house. Only this cute and helpless little Loli was left in the whole family, and he lived a lonely life until now. The naive little Loli didn't know that zombies were rampant outside, and she ran to the door. Those uncles and aunts with blood on their bodies, who were very fierce, probably wanted to break open the door of the villa, rush in and eat Suzialudo. Thinking about it, Lin Fan felt more and more pitiful for this little Loli. Her parents died tragically at such a young age. What should she do in the future? There should be a lot of food in the villa, but one day the food will be exhausted, so what should Suzialudo do? What should I do? Unlike adults like Zhao Yanyan, Lin Fan cannot think of evil people when looking at the innocent little Lolita. Such a little angel should not have to experience those darkness. Brother, brother. How are you? Did you just jump from such a height and hit your head? Dad told me not to climb too high or I might fall. After coming back to his senses, Lin Fan looked at the worried look on little Loli's face. Lin Fan touched her little head and said with a smile, "It's okay, brother just thought of something. Do you want Lolo to take brother inside to take a look?" "Okay, okay." Suzialudo nodded her little head, held Lin Fan's big hand with her white and tender hands, and ran happily into the villa. Let the little Loli pull him. Lin Fan hesitated in his heart, he was thinking about whether to tell her for a while. He was a little hesitant about the cruel reality. After all, it was too cruel for a little Loli who was not familiar with the world. He was afraid that Suzialudo would not be able to accept such a reality. Forget it, Lita Euro trademark S, take it one step at a time, and we Euro trademark LL talk about it when the time comes. Having made a decision in his heart, Lin Fan found that he had been pulled into the villa by the little Lolita. The decoration in the villa was luxurious and the various furniture and decorations were quite extraordinary and should be worth a lot of money. There were various murals. Lin Fan took a look and saw that they were all pictures of buildings. "Big brother, sit down. Lolo, go get you some snacks." The little Lolita pushed her down on the sofa. Looking at Suzialudo who happily ran upstairs, Lin Fan shook his head. Fortunately, he didn't have bad intentions. If it were those survivors, the little Lolita would probably be killed. There are no bones left after eating. You dare to take out your own food and give it to others in the apocalypse. This is really courageous. Only a little Loli like Suzialudo who is not familiar with the world would do this. If he doesn't care about this, Suzialudo might be hurt by another survivor one day. Such an innocent and cute little Loli must be taken away. She must not be contaminated by those garbage. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 43. Chapter 043, Not a simple little Loli, 4 sleeping pills. I have to waste a lot of food again. I hope this guy is not too good at eating. In the room on the 3rd floor, Suzialudo was holding bags of snacks and kept complaining. At this time, she was not as innocent as Lin Fan saw just now, but more like a mature adult. That guy jumped from the 3rd floor and didn't do anything at all. It's so strange. People on the internet say that there are no people with extraordinary abilities. He must be in good physical condition. 2 pieces, no, or 4 pieces. No matter how healthy you are, you still have to sleep well. With a bottle of juice in his hand, Suzialudo put 2 packets of powdered sleeping pills in, shook them vigorously for a while, and then put them down. Beside the table, there were also a pile of small paper packets, which seemed to be, the sleeping pills were ground into powder. Feeling distressed, Suzialudo took a few packs of snacks. Suzyalogo's face returned to the innocent and cute look before, and he skipped downstairs. When passing by a room on the second floor, Suzyalogo paused at a brisk pace, looked at the closed door, and wrinkled her delicate nose. It will take a lot of effort to lift that guy up later. Really, why do you come to me? Stomping her little feet, Suzyalogo vented a lot, and then ran downstairs. Stomp, stomp, stomp. The sound of brisk footsteps came, and Lin Fan looked over. Suzyalogo, who was holding a few bags of chips and a bottle of drink, ran over. His face was red, which must have been caused by running all the way. Brother, here you go, these potato chips are super delicious. Seeing Suzyalogo put a bunch of potato chips in front of him, Lin Fan didn't refuse. He opened a bag casually, took 2 bites, and then put it down. There were a lot of these in the hospital supermarket. Lin Fan ate too. Suzyalogo was slightly startled as he put down the tablet. Why did he only eat 2 tablets? Normally, shouldn't he be like a starving man, eating haze? Then he would drink juice in large gulps, and finally sleep like a dead pig. Lin Fan K didn't know what Suzyalogo was thinking. After putting down the potato chips, he focused on Suzyalogo. He was thinking about how to tell Suzyalogo the truth of the matter in a tactful way. Lin Fan didn't eat. Talking and just staring at her, Suzyalogo felt scared and panicked at the same time. Is this man planning to jump right into the topic? Suzyalogo was frightened and quickly handed the juice in his hand to Lin Fan. Brother, let me drink juice for you. This is Logo's favorite flavor. With a calm expression on her face, Suzyalogo could only hope that Lin Fan drank the juice and was turned over by the medicine, otherwise she would be really in danger today. Lin Fan is tall, and she is very strong. This little guy is no match at all. Looking at the juice Suzyalogo handed over, Lin Fan did not refuse. He took it and twisted it, only to find that the bottle of juice had been unscrewed. Lin Fan frowned and looked at it with an expectant look on his face. The little loli looked up and took a sip. The juice was very good, but Lin Fan always felt that something was wrong. Brother, why don't a Euro trademark tea you drink anymore? Doesn't a Euro trademark tea it taste good? Suzyalogo looked at Lin Fan eagerly and found that he had only taken a small sip. He was very anxious. Somehow, Lin Fan felt more and more that something was not right. System, is there something wrong with what I just ate? Sir, there is nothing wrong with the potato chips. The juice contains a large dose of sleeping pills. The number is about 4 pieces. Depending on your physical condition, you can ignore it. 4 pills. Lin Fan's heart was shocked. 1 sleeping pill is enough for a person to sleep for 8-10 hours. Now 4 pills, are they going to make him sleep to death? He found that he really underestimated the little Lolita in front of him. After sensing again, it was indeed the little Lolita in front of him in the villa. Looking at Suzyalogo a Euro trademark's expectant eyes, Lin Fan raised his head and took a big sip, then downed half the bottle. He put down the juice and looked at the harmless person in front of him. Suzyalogo, Lin Fan wanted to know what she wanted to do. There was still half a bottle of juice left. Suzyalogo was relieved now, but in order to stabilize Lin Fan, she still pretended to be innocent and cute. He was mumbling in his mind, hoping that Lin Fan would fall asleep soon. Thinking that it was almost time, Lin Fan pretended to be sleepy and soon lay down on the table. Big brother? Big brother? Lying Lin Fan down, Suzyalogo screamed several times and even pushed a few times to confirm that Lin Fan was asleep, and then he breathed a sigh of relief. I finally fell asleep, I was so nervous. Collapsed on the sofa, Suzyalogo kept complaining. After a while, he stood up, grabbed Lin Fan's arm with both hands, and began to drag the body. Oh my god, eat a Euro trademark s so heavy. Isn't a Euro trademark tea it going to tire me out? I used all my strength to drag Lin Fan, and Suzyalogo was almost exhausted. He didn't know where he was going to be dragged, but with this dragging method and speed, how long would it take? The magnetic control ability release him and lift him up a little. In an instant, the weight is reduced by an unknown amount. Strange, why did he suddenly become lighter? Suzyalogo muttered in confusion, but didn't take it to heart. With Lin Fan's secret help, Suzyalogo quickly dragged Lin Fan to the door of a room on the second floor. After being dragged all the way upstairs, Lin Fan, there is a question mark on her forehead. What does this little loli want to do? Is she just greedy for his body? Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Doomsday. Chapter 44. After struggling to put Lin Fan on the chair and tying him tightly with the rope, Suzyalogo wiped the sweat from his head and said, "It's finally tied." After being tied to the chair, Lin Fan finally recognized the reality. This is not coveting his body, this is meeting a hidden boss. Good guy, what Zhongwujia Euro trademark's mother said is indeed true. The more beautiful a woman is, the better she is at lying. This little loli is only so old, she already knows how to lie. Also, that face is so confusing. He admitted that he underestimated this little loli, but he just didn't know what she planned to do with him next. With his eyes closed, but his perception was still there, Lin Fan sensed it and discovered a lot of things. First, a noose was tied under his chair, and then it was connected to the window. After going through a series of complex mechanisms, it was finally connected to a switch behind Suzyalogo. As long as he pressed the switch, he would send the person away with the chair and throw it directly outside. Outside, there were dense zombies wandering aimlessly. Lin Fan even saw two people tied to the chair. Of zombies. This must be the same victim as him. It seems that this little loli has not only deceived him before. But what about the purpose? What is the purpose? Or is it just a hobby of luring others into the villa and then drugging them to death? Are all people today so dark? A little loli has become like this. Lin Fan felt that his heart was greatly shocked. Fanning the wind with his little hands, Suzyalogo came closer to Lin Fan and looked at Lin Fan with his big eyes. He is quite handsome, but I don't know if I have a bad stomach. Actually, I don't want to do this to you, but who knows whether you are good or bad. For my safety, I can only leave you to the zombies. I hope you don't a Euro trademark T blame me if you die. I have no choice but to do so. Those videos on the internet are too scary. I don't a Euro trademark T want to be like that. I a Euro trademark am sorry. As she said that, Suzyalogo turned around and walked to the switch she had made before. As long as she pressed it, Lin Fan would be thrown out along with the chair in a chain reaction. It seemed that he didn't dare to watch that scene. Suzyalogo always had his back to Lin Fan, and his raised hand had not been pressed down for a long time. The mere rope could not trap Lin Fan at all. He stood up from the chair and looked at Suzyalogo, who had his back turned to him. Lin Fan, his feelings towards her changed again and again. If not for what he just said, Lin Fan would have thought that Suzyalogo was just a twisted Lolita with an innocent appearance and a dark heart, but that was not the case now. As Suzyalogo just said like that, in the apocalypse, people's hearts are like ghosts, and humans are scarier than zombies. Those videos on the internet are darker and more twisted than the last, and people's hearts are separated from each other. Who knows whether those two people are good or bad? Suzyalogo is just a little loli, she resists. Are you an adult? To put it bluntly, even without powers, Lin Fan can capture her with one hand. For her own safety, especially for girls, this is indeed the best thing for her. Protection. If he is as innocent as when we first met, maybe Suzyalogo is no longer alive, or has been trained to look like someone else. Who can guarantee that the corpse thrown outside is a good person? As long as there is a bad person, Suzyalogo's end was absolutely tragic. Step by step, He walked behind Suzyalogo and looked at her little hand that had not been patted down. Lin Fan knew that she was struggling. Shoot, why not? As soon as I took the photo, I flew out in a whoosh. Wow ah ah ah. Suzyalogo suddenly heard the sound coming from behind, and Suzyalogo was so frightened that he jumped up and ran away like a frightened little rabbit for a long distance before turning around to look behind her. For a moment, Suzyalogo was stunned. She clearly remembered to tie up Lin Fan. There were 4 sleeping pills too. Why did she wake up just now? The sleeping pills must have been fake. You, why are you up? If I don't a Euro trademark T get up, you will throw me out to feed the zombies. I never expected that such a cute little loli has such vicious thoughts. Unfortunately, I thought you were pitiful before, and I was still thinking about how to comfort you, but in the end, you deceived me. Got it? Step by step, Lin Fan stepped forward with a sneer on his face. Suzyalogo, who was blocked, could only huddle in the corner and tremble. After a while, Lin Fan sat on the sofa, with a small bench sitting opposite him. Suzyalogo was uneasy. The door of the room had been locked. Lin Fan was going to interrogate this little loli today. Name: Suzyalogo. Boom. Lin Fan slapped the table and glared. Tell the truth. Suzyalogo trembled in fright and said aggrievedly, my name is Suzyalogo, I have an ID card. Okay, sex. Female. Age. 2, 23 years old. A mouthful of water spurted out. Looking at Suzyalogo sitting on the small bench, Lin Fan had a question mark on his head. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Doomsday. Chapter 45. Chapter 045 Shocked. Legal loli. Suzyalogo a Euro trademark S passed. I don't a Euro trademark T believe you. I asked you how old you are. Staring at Suzyalogo on the small bench, 23 years old. Do you think I look like a fool? I'm less than 1.5 meters at most, so big, and my face is so tender. You tell me I'm 23 years old. Suzyalogo said. He shrunk his head and looked at Lin Fan's fierce look, with a bitter look on his face. 32D. Lin Fan? I can tell at a glance that you are not a human being. Look at me boldly, monster. I asked you how old you are. Lin Fan felt that he was about to suffer from brain congestion. He stared at Suzyalogo's small body. It didn't look like he was 32 years old. I am really 23 years old, I have an ID card, I am really an adult, I am an architectural designer, I really didn't a Euro trademark T lie to you. Suzyalogo wanted to cry. Didn't she just look smaller and shorter? After a while, he looked at the ID card and various documents in his hand and compared them for a long time. He finally confirmed that the one in front of him looked harmless to humans and animals. The little Lolita is actually a 23-year-old adult woman. What is this? A living, legal Lolita? I tapped my fingers on my resume. Speaking of it, this legal Lolita in front of me is really not that simple. On the resume it can be said that his military achievements are shining brightly. Many famous buildings and communities in the Magic City were designed by the man in front of him. Tell me, what's going on with those two outside? If you lied to me about anything else, tell me honestly. Rubbing the hem of her skirt with her fingers, Suzyalogo frowned. I'll tell you the truth, you won't hit me, right? I don't know if it's possible, but if you tell the truth, I will definitely leave you. A sigh of relief. Lin Fan was almost amused. Good guy, you want to negotiate terms with him? Why is this kid so funny? When Lin Fan said this, Suzyalogo's face became even more bitter. I must tell the truth. Then say. The story about mom and dad is false. Good guy, the first sentence gave Lin Fan a lightning strike. Have you been deceiving him from the beginning? He secretly glanced at Lin Fan's face and saw that Lin Fan had no expression. Suzyologo swallowed. He continued, there are no others. As for the two people who died outside, I think they all deserve to die. Why did he die? As if recalling something bad, Suzyologo bit her little white teeth and said bitterly. The first man came in running for his life. He threatened me that if I didn't open the door for him, he would break the door open. He had a weapon in his hand at the time. I had no choice but to let him in. He kept staring at me after he came in. That look was very annoying. Maybe I was too young and not a threat. He drank the juice I gave him and then fell asleep. I dragged him upstairs and tied him to a chair. Later, when he woke up, he yelled and cursed at me and threatened me that if I didn't let him go, he would do whatever he wanted to me. He gave many examples, which were very unpleasant to hear. Horrible, and then I threw him out. The second person came in over the wall. He was surprised when he saw me, and then he wanted to do something to me. Fortunately, I had an electric shock device and stunned him. I had the same experience as the first person, and I didn't even wait for him. When he woke up, he threw him out. Listening to Suzyologo's narration, Lin Fan didn't know what to say. Women are already weak in the apocalypse, let alone Suzyologo in front of him. If he is really careless, maybe after the first person comes in, Suzyologo has been trained so badly, right? What about me? I didn't do anything, so what do you say when you came up and gave me juice mixed with sleeping pills? Suzyologo frowned, hesitated, and said, you don't look like a bad person. I hesitated for a long time just now before throwing you out, but people's hearts are far apart. If I had to do it over again, I will do it again. I don't a Euro trademark T think it a Euro trademark S wrong for me to do it. I don't a Euro trademark T want to risk my life on whether you are good or bad. Sitting on the small bench dejectedly, Suzyologo said dejectedly, I've said it all, it's up to you to kill or chop him. The sleeping pills lost their effect, the plan failed, and they were captured instead. Suzyologo had no other way to save herself, and she didn't bring the electric shock device with her. She really had no choice at all, and she even suspected the electric shock device. Is this thing useful? After all, 4 sleeping pills didn't knock Lin Fan down, which was beyond her imagination. 1 sleeping pill is enough for an adult to sleep for 8-10 hours. Let alone 4 pills, you can put down all the bullshit, but the fact is right in front of you. Eat a Euro trademark S not without reason that this man can jump from the 3rd floor without any trouble. Looking at Suzyologo a Euro trademark S expression of giving nothing, Lin Fan shook his head. The girl is so arrogant, she might just be showing off her pity now. Okay, stop drooping your face, I don't a Euro trademark T care about you cheating on me. Really? Suzyologo instantly raised her head and looked at Lin Fan with big eyes. Suzyologo had a look of surprise on her face. Then she saw Lin Fan's darkened face. She scratched her face and lowered her head again. I don't care about the fact that you deceived me. There is a price. You have to come with me. Don't make any conditions with me. When Lin Fan glared, Suzyologo shrank his neck and lowered his head angrily. Seeing Suzyologo calm down, Lin Fan had a straight face and a headache. Suzyologo is indeed a great architectural designer. You can see it just by looking at the famous high-end residential areas and the benchmark buildings in the magical city that she designed. The hospital can only be used as a shelter, but it will definitely be bulldozed and rebuilt later. Then Suzyologo, a great designer, will come in handy. Go pack your things and come with me later. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Da. Chapter 46. Chapter 046 Hospital Crisis, Lin Yuyo's method on the rooftop of the supermarket, climbing up to look into the distance. Lin Yuyo didn't know when, she fell in love with this overlooking feeling. Maybe she was addicted to Lin Fan, subconsciously imitating everything about him. There was nothing interesting to see over there in the dormitory building. I took Zhao Wanqing and the three of them around for a tour before returning. Perhaps as a man, watching a group of women sweating like rain would be very eye-catching, but to Lin Yuyu and the others, it was not the same at all. Not interested. Looking far away, Lin Yuyu's eyesight was very good after being strengthened by special powers. Looking at the increasing number of zombies at the entrance of the hospital and the surrounding fences, a hint of worry flashed in his eyes. Zombies, I don't Euro trademark T know why there are more and more people. It seems that something in the hospital is attracting them. What could it be? Food. That is people. Wanqing, do you want to restore your appearance as soon as possible? Standing behind Lin Yuyu, Zhao Wanqing was a little confused. After she came back from the dormitory, she was called up by Lin Yuyu, and she was in a daze until now. Now that Lin Yuyu suddenly asked this question, Zhao Wanqing didn't know how to answer. She was a little confused about Lin Yuyu's purpose. Beat. Warn. Or something else. Zhao Wanqing only dreamed of restoring her appearance. There were more and more women around Lin Fan, and the sense of urgency in her heart became stronger and stronger, especially when Lin Fan showed off that kind of miraculous ability, and Zhao Wanqing became more and more desperate. But how could it be so easy to restore her appearance? She now runs a small stove every day. There are not many other things in the supermarket, but there are many supplements, such as ginseng, velvet antler, etc., bird's nests and the like, but this thing can't be repaired in a day. It will take half a month at the fastest. She is almost dying. If she can restore her appearance as soon as possible, she will definitely want it, really want to. But it was Lin who said this. Yuyu, she didn't dare to speak carelessly. Maybe if she said the wrong thing, she would be gone. I believe Lin Fan would not blame Lin Yuyu for losing her. Although she was unwilling to do so, the fact was that the status of her and Lin Yuyu were worlds apart. Don't worry, I have no intention of harming you, I just mean it literally. Do you want to restore your appearance as soon as possible? Raising her hand, Lin Yuyu looked calm and stopped Zhao Wanqing from wanting to speak. Your Majesty, I can't be the only woman. In fact, I can't bear your Majesty's strength. You are very beautiful and very enterprising. I can help you restore your appearance, but whether you can secure your position depends on your performance. If one day I find out that you are unfaithful to the Lord, and your only fate will be death, I will never betray the Lord. So much the better. Lin Yuyu's voice remained unchanged. She turned around and raised her arm, holding the tang knife that Lin Fan gave her before. You can use this knife, it should be useful to you. Looking at the tang dao in front of her, Zhao Wanqing raised her hand to take it. As soon as she took it, a warm feeling surged through her body along the palm of her hand. Go downstairs. Glancing at Zhao Wanqing lightly, Lin Yuyu walked downstairs. In the living room on the second floor, when she saw Lin Yuyu walking down, Zhao Yanyan put away her pistol and said respectfully, My lord, according to your instructions, I have sent all the people from the dormitory who are willing to come over. The women were all brought downstairs. Well, let's go. Zhao Wanqing followed, and she didn't understand. When did Lin Yuyu give the order? What on earth did this woman want to do? Downstairs of the supermarket, Lin Yuyu stood with her hands behind her hands, her eyes sweeping over the dozen women in front of her. Since you guys, if you dare to come here, it means that you are mentally prepared. You may die next. If you withdraw now, I will not pursue it. After all, you are about to face zombies. After Lin Yuyu finished speaking, the eyes of more than a dozen women flickered for a moment, but no one moved. Very well, since you don't want to be a servant, I will give you a chance today. After saying that, Lin Yu raised his arm and grabbed it with his bare hands. A large piece of steel bar in the open space not far away flew up, and its shape was changing. Under the dull eyes of everyone, the steel bar finally turned into a handle. Tang Dao. With a wave of his hand, more than 10 long knives flew in front of the girls and were all inserted into the ground. These are your weapons, and they are also what you use to fight zombies. Take your weapons and follow me. The girls looked at each other, looked at the Tang Dao in front of them, and then looked at Lin Yu who was walking away. They all pulled out the Tang Dao on the ground, and then quickly chased after Lin Yu. At the door of the hospital, they looked at the electronic telescopic. Lin Yu's expression did not change as there were many zombies blocked by the door. Not only the electronic door, but also many zombies gathered on the fences on both sides. Looking at these ferocious zombies, the hands of the girls holding tang knives were trembling. These are in front of you. They are vicious zombies. Your task today is to clean up these zombies. Each person must have no less than 20 zombies. I will supervise you. If you can't do it, you can either feed the zombies. Either get back here and wipe the floor. Looking at these women coldly, Lin Yu's tone was cold and cruel. What are you waiting for? Everyone, come on, if anyone dares to retreat, I will throw you out to feed the zombies. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Doomsday. Chapter 47. In one sentence, the whole audience was shocked. The consequence of retreating is to feed the zombies. The women were frightened in their hearts. In order not to be thrown out, in order to have a better life, in order not to become a tool to be played with casually, they fought hard. When Zhao Yanyan informed them before, she had already said that if she was unwilling to be a servant, she must be prepared to die or continue to be the lowest maid. Although the maid at the bottom can also be fed and clothed, who wants to be the bottom? Who wants to be called around at will? Who doesn't want to have a better life and step on other people's heads? They are fed up with the life at the bottom, living like a dog, being toyed with by those disgusting men just for a bite to eat. They are fed up with this kind of life. It is better to die than to live in this doomsday and suffer. The stimulated women rolled their eyes and rushed towards the electronic door with tang knives in their hands. They were not unarmed, they had knives in their hands, and the zombies were all blocked by the electronic door. If you didn't dare to do this, you might as well go back and wipe the floor. Puff puff. Chopping, stabbing, and beheading, the women brandished sharp tang knives and aimed at the heads of the zombies. They had to fight for a better tomorrow. In order to become a master. For not being a maid. For a higher status. They fought hard. One by one, the women seemed to be going crazy, as if they were using these zombies as a punching bag to vent out the humiliation they had suffered during this period. Seeing these women struggling to kill the zombies, Lin Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Under the control of her mind, dozens of silver flying knives shot out. Behind the zombies, rows of zombies fell down like wheat. On the other side, Zhao Wanqing was holding a tang knife in her hand and slashing hard at the zombie in front of her. This tang knife was given to her by Lin Yu. Her expression now is very exciting. She discovered that every time she killed a zombie, there seemed to be a weak force pouring into her body from the handle of the knife, replenishing her depleted body. This discovery made her a little stunned, and then she was pleasantly surprised. She won't think this is an illusion. With Lin Fan transmitting knowledge first, and the two superhuman abilities, her ability to accept has been greatly enhanced. She even doubted whether Lin Yu's abilities were given by Lin Fan. Otherwise, why would their abilities be so similar? After all, Lin Fan has a precedent of instilling knowledge into them, so it is not impossible to give them such superpowers, right? Burying this suspicion in her heart, Zhao Wanqing stopped thinking about it. If this was really the case, Then as long as she worked hard, sooner or later, she would be given this ability. With her appearance expected to recover quickly, Zhao Wanqing worked extra hard to kill the zombies, as if the zombies opposite her had a grudge against her for killing her father. Zhao Yanyan and Li Saiqi were also wielding tang knives, but unlike Zhao Wanqing, the tang knives in their hands were made by Lin Yuyu. After all, Lin Fan only gave them one tang knives. Lin Yuyu organized the girls to kill zombies, while Lin Fan's place was very lively. Ding. Lin Yuyu kills zombies, add 1, points add 1, your magnetic control shared experience add 1, current experience is 4406/10,000. Ding. Lin Yuyu kills zombies, add 1, points add 1, your magnetic control shared experience add 1, current experience is 4580/10,000. Ding. Zhao Wanqing kills zombies, add 1, your points add 1. Ding. Zhao Wanqing kills zombies, add 1, your points add 1. Ding. There were numerous notification sounds. Lin Fan, who was wandering around the villa here, was confused on the spot. Lin Yuyu killed the zombies in order to become stronger. This is understandable, but what is Zhao Wanqing's situation? Why is she killing zombies? And he actually still has points? Could it be that something happened at the hospital? Feeling uneasy, Lin Fan took out his mobile phone and called Lin Yuyu. Fortunately, the communication network was still intact and the satellites in the sky were really powerful. When the call was connected, Lin Fan asked Yuyu, something happened at the hospital. If Lin Yuyu answered yes, he would go back immediately. At the hospital, after receiving a call from Lin Fan, Lin Yuyu was stunned for a moment and quickly replied, "Sir, the hospital is very safe." So what happened to Zhao Wanqing? Glancing at Zhao Wanqing, who was killing zombies, Lin Yuyu didn't hide anything. "I let Zhao Wanqing use the tang knife you gave me. If you don't agree, I will take it back now." "It's okay, no need, just leave it like that. If there is any danger, please notify me as soon as possible." "Okay, Lord, when will you come back?" At the villa, looking at the little loli who secretly hid the electric shock rod, Lin Fan raised his eyebrows and replied, "Don't worry, I will go back at night. I can't sleep without holding you." Lin Yuyu, who was calmly killing zombies, had a blush on his face and felt a little hot all over. "My lord, so is Yo-Yo." After hanging up the phone, Lin Fan walked to Suziologo and spread his hands. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 48. Chapter 048, Are you stupid for using a stun button on an electronic player? Hand over the stunner. Looking at Lin Fan's open palms, Suziologo's big eyes widened and she was dumbfounded. She obviously did it so secretly. How did this man see it? She was unwilling to give in. Taking out the electric shock device, Suziologo raised his little face and looked at Lin Fan pitifully. "I said I didn't intend to shock you, do you believe it?" "I believe it, I believe you, idiot." Seeing Lin Fan's expressionless expression, Suziologo was like a defeated little hen, and said frantically, "Yes. I want to shock you. But I swear, I definitely didn't Euro trademark T mean to harm you. The most I could do was tie you up and take care of you. You are different from those bad guys. I mean it, you have to believe me." Lin Fan believed what Suziologo said. After all, the system would not lie to him. Character, Suziologo. Strength, 7. Agility, 8. Intelligence, 15. Physique, 8. Faith value, 71. Ability, no. 71 points of faith value. Although it is not high, it will definitely not harm him. It will still kill him, so I tie him up and take care of him. This is basically true. I believe what you say, but why do you think that an electric shock device can hurt me? And even if you tied me up, Didn't you think that I would escape immediately? Lin Fan was a little confused. What on earth was this little lowly thinking? Doesn't she have a long memory? Suzyologo tilted her head, with a look of confusion on her face, and then annoyance. She rolled her eyes. You are blind to this 15-point high. A lot of intelligence. So, you have no plan at all and you just want to call me. Looking at the cute Lolita in front of him, Lin Fan pressed the electric shock device, and then, under Suzyologo's dull eyes, he clicked on the back of his hand. Zitsiza. The electric light flickered and then calmed down. Suzyologo blinked and was instantly confused. The electric shock device didn't work. This guy is definitely not human. Throwing down the electric shock device, Lin Fan opened his palms. Thunder light gathered in his palms and thunder exploded. Suzyologo was startled and took a few steps back in fear. The lightning was so terrifying that she felt as if her hair was standing on end even from a distance of more than 1 meter. If the electricity was on my body, I'm afraid it would be gone on the spot. Tell me, are you stupid for using a stun baton on an electronic player? Me. Suzyologo wrinkled her little face and looked extremely sad. Didn't we agree that since the founding of the People's Republic of China, we are not allowed to become a spirit? Lin Fan. I see you are so sperm. Bold monster. Eat my mighty Tianlong. He raised his hand and slapped Suzyologo on the forehead. Seeing her crying out in pain and holding her head, Lin Fan felt much better. Stop talking nonsense. How did you get here this month? It looks like you are not hungry. Where did you get so much food? Suzyologo puffed up his face and opened the door next to him. Then Lin Fan was stunned. The room was like a small warehouse. Good guy, there were biscuits, potato chips, chocolates, and drinks. There are all kinds of things, piled up in the whole room. Are you running a supermarket at home? Or have you predicted the end of the world in advance? Damn it! Are you so worried about predicting the future? Looking at Lin Fan's strange eyes, Suzyologo scratched his face and muttered said don't look at me like that, isn't a Euro trademark he a designer? When there are design tasks, it will be very busy and time consuming, so I always have a bunch of food at home, and then the end will come. I don't a Euro trademark no. For this reason, there is really no one left. Shiur, is it you? With a wave of your hand, everything in the room disappeared and was taken into your personal space. Now the empty personal space was filled up in an instant. You have to bring it with you anyway. Now that Suzyologo is gone, there is no need to keep these things here. Here's my food. I have snacks. Wiping her eyes and looking at the room that was instantly empty, Suzyologo was dumbfounded. Where are her snacks? Why were they all gone suddenly? I've taken all your things. Do you have anything else to take? What? Suzyologo looked at Lin Fan blankly, still a little unable to react. What do you mean they took it all away? Where did they go? With a wave of his hand, the room was once again filled with snacks, and then again, all the snacks disappeared. Do you understand now? Bright, understood. Suzyologo nodded in despair, and went to pack his things in a daze. After walking a few steps, he suddenly realized what he was doing, and looked straight at Lin Fan with his big eyes. You still said you weren't a spirit. Ouch. Covering her forehead, Suzyologo felt that her head was about to bulge. This man was so cruel. Hurry up and pack your things. Suzyologo spat out his sweet tongue, not daring to provoke Lin Fan anymore. He ran out on his legs and quickly ran back with a bunch of things. Seeing Suzyologo struggling to carry a bunch of bags, Lin Fan every question mark. Where did you get these fruits? How long has it been and these are still not broken? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Doomsday. Chapter 49. Chapter 049 Treasure Lowly, come out and you will find everything. There are a bunch of peaches, strawberries, grapes, and other fruits in the bag. The key is that they are still very fresh, which makes Lin Fan a little confused. ETA Euro trademark has been more than a month since the end of the world. Where did you get these fresh fruits? He didn't believe that Suziologo went out specifically to get these fruits. Speaking of which, the underground supermarket in Dawa commercial building seemed to sell fruits and vegetables, but there were too many zombies, and Lin Fan didn't have time to clean them up. Where did you get these fruits? Suziologo put down the bags in his hands and fanned the wind with his little hands. I planted these. I originally wanted to grow some vegetables, but found that I couldn't cook, so I gave up and only planted some fruits. What? Grow it yourself? Do you grow fruit at home? Which one are you in? Putting his hands on his hips, Suziologo said proudly, I have a garden. Fruit is grown in the garden. Good guy, every inch of land in this magical city is precious. Why don't you just forget about the entire 3-story villa and even have a garden? Rich people are so disgusting. Take me to see. All the way to the garden at the back, Lin Fan took a look. It was really quite big. There were a lot of grapes growing on the grape trellis, as well as peach trees, and there were watermelon vines on the ground. They should have been planted earlier, and they are not small now. I guess they can all be eaten. Lin Fan looked at Suziologo next to him in surprise. He didn't expect that this girl would grow her own fruit. How about it? I grow these all by myself, they are pure green, natural, and pollution-free. Awesome. Suziologo couldn't be more proud. Seeing Lin Fan in a daze, he felt a great sense of accomplishment. Nodding, Lin Fan had to admit that this little Lolita, oh no, legal Lolita does have a skill, and now it is he was thinking about how to put these peach trees and grape trellis back together. They are already made. If he were to grow them himself, except for watermelons, the peach trees would probably take a year or two to eat peaches. Do you have the seeds of these fruits? You mentioned growing vegetables before. Do you have any vegetable seeds? Lin Fan has not forgotten why he came out. Isn't it just to find vegetable and fruit seeds? If he hadn't been waiting for a legal loli on the way, he would probably still be wandering around. Yep, Suziologo nodded, I still have a lot of seeds. I haven't planted any vegetables at all. I've been throwing them away since I bought them. Do you want them? Well, go get it. When Suziologo heard this, he turned around and ran towards the villa. Halfway through, he suddenly remembered, why is she so obedient? She turned around and glared at Lin Fan's back. A good girl will not suffer the loss in front of her, for the sake of her head. It is better for her to give in. A man who can discharge electricity is too scary. Looking at the fruit trees in front of him, Lin Fan thought for a while, and the magnetic control ability spread, and he carefully controlled the magnetic ability to change the surrounding gravity field. Then it spread underground, protecting the root system, and holding it up with both hands. A fruit tree as thick as an adult's thigh rose up from the ground. Not only the root system, but also the soil where the roots were rooted, were all taken out by Lin Fan, and he took this thing back. They need to be planted, but they can't a Euro trademark to be killed. The rest of the fruits looked like gourds and gourds. When Suziologo came back with a big bag of seeds, his eyes glazed over as he looked at the garden full of big holes. Hearing the sound of footsteps, Lin Fan looking over, I saw a room full of snacks and prepared them, but what's going on with your big bag of various seeds? Do you always buy things based on your car? Why so many? Suziologo came back to his senses and asked doubtfully, is there something wrong? This thing is so cheap, just buy more and save money before running away. Okay, what you said makes sense. Why did you dig up all these fruit trees? How did you do that? Looking curiously at the fruit trees that were dug out and put together, Suzyalogo looked left and right, not to mention curious. Finally, her eyes turned back to Lin Fan. She thought this man was so mysterious. He could discharge electricity and also he could take away so many snacks from her with a wave of his hand, and now he even dug out these fruit trees and the soil together. How did he do it? He took the bag in Suzyalogo's hand and threw it into his personal space. Lin Fan felt this time it came out really well. Not only did I get the seeds, but I also picked up a legal loli for free. This legal loli is also very capable. I estimate that in the future, we will rely on this legal loli in construction. Go and take out all your things. It's getting late. I'll take you to my place. When Suzyalogo heard this, her eyes moved slightly, but without saying anything, she lowered her head and walked back to the villa. She was about to leave here and go to a place she was unfamiliar with. The only person she could rely on was Lin Fan, who looked at her and looked at her. He was not a bad man, and he was even a somewhat conniving man. She could feel that Lin Fan was very tolerant to her, and he was different from the scary men on the internet. Su put all her little dresses and other things into the suitcase with great concern. Xiaoluo walked out of the villa with his head lowered. He could feel Suzyalogo's frustration. Lin Fan bent down and held her little face. Looking at her delicate face, Lin Fan said softly, "Don't leave, worry, as long as I am here, no one will bully you. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers." Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 50. Chapter 050. Mom, there are gods flying in the sky. With Suzyalogo, the legal Lolita, flying in the air, and a bunch of fruit trees floating behind him, Lin Fan figured out the direction and flew towards the hospital. Holding Lin Fan's arm, Suzyalogo looked down at the rapidly retreating ground beneath his feet, his big eyes filled with incredible light. She is actually flying. This is simply amazing. This is not comparable to flying. The feeling of flying was very wonderful. Suzyalogo looked around with her little head, and the strong wind that hit her face was blocked. She didn't feel any discomfort at all. This feeling was really great. Looking up at Lin Fan's side face, the man looked very focused. Suzyalogo was curious, where did Lin Fan get these abilities? What else could he do? In Suzyalogo's eyes, Lin Fan was really full of incredible and miracles. Lin Fan was also very surprised. Suzyalogo looked around and kept moving. Then, he felt the arm being held. Wearing Lolita doesn't look too revealing, but at this size, it's really 32D. I have to say that the living conditions are good and the nutrition is really rich. The two of them had different thoughts and flew across the sky in a swagger. It was daytime now. Although the sun was about to set, it was still daytime. Forget it if it's just the two of them, there are a bunch of fruit trees flying behind, the target is really too big. On the ground, someone soon spotted the two people flying in the sky, and they were all stunned. What the hell, why are there people flying in the sky? The survivors who discovered the situation took out their mobile phones to take pictures. There were even dedicated photography enthusiasts who took out special equipment and took pictures of Lin Fan and Lin Fan in the sky. Bai Hao is such a photography enthusiast. He was lying dead in the gathering place when he suddenly heard people shouting and pointing and looking outside, or taking out his mobile phone to take pictures wildly. He thought that the army was coming to rescue him. But at first glance, he was confused. Damn it, what is that thing flying in the sky? Fruit trees? Grass? The fruit tree has become a spirit? Wrong. What's that thing in front of people? After Bai Hao saw it clearly, his whole person had an expression like, "You're fucking kidding me. Good guy, the end is coming, will everyone fly?" Immediately, he realized that this was a big deal. At this time, he didn't care about anything else. He quickly took out his long spear and short cannon, and started shooting at the sky until he could no longer see it. After taking these explosive photos, Bai Hao directly uploaded them to the internet. When he turned on his computer, he found that this kind of news had already been published, and there were quite a lot of them. However, the pictures taken were very unclear. At first glance, they were taken with a mobile phone. The pixels are very stretched. Bai Hao thought about it and uploaded the photos directly to the internet, and gave a catchy title. The end is coming, can we mortals also become immortals and gods? Today I was lucky enough to see a big man flying across the sky. I want to ask, when will I be able to go to heaven too? The eye-catching title, coupled with the clear photos, instantly detonated the internet. It was like a meteorite falling from the sky and hitting the sea directly, causing thousands of waves. For a while, I don't know how many survivors responded to the post. At the same time, this post has also been noticed by many interested people. Major survivor forces, officials, and the military are all analyzing the authenticity of the photos. Lin Fan does not know this. At this time, he has returned to the hospital with Suzy Luo. Lin Fan, after returning, all the women on the ground saw it. They had long seen how powerful Lin Fan was, and they were not too shocked now. They only looked at Suzy Luo with envy in his eyes. In their opinion, Suzy Luo will be their life must be very good. She is so beautiful and is born to stand at a height that they cannot reach. They don't dare to compare. They know in their hearts that if Lin Fan looks down on them, they are not worthy. They just keep to themselves and be warriors. At least he has a higher status than the maids, right? After landing on the ground and watching the girls killing zombies, Lin Fan quickly understood what was going on. There were more zombies. It was like he was attracted by something. No, he stopped and approached the hospital. Lin Fan had discovered the situation when he was in the Dua commercial building. At the same time, he still had some guesses in his mind. Now the facts have confirmed his guess. The zombies are chasing the scent of living people and gathering together. I'm afraid it won't take long for it to become like the Dua commercial building. It may be because there are not as many people in the hospital as there are in the Dua commercial building, so the speed and quantity of zombies gathering are much different. However, the electronic doors and fences of the hospital will block them sooner or later. If these zombies cannot be contained, it is necessary to do some protection work next. There will be more and more survivors here in the future. If we don't Euro trademark T build the defenses well, the zombies may one day break through the defenses. I'm afraid I'll be very busy next time.